Yes, we're live.
Yay!
Hi, Tina. How are you doing?
Hi, Miriam. I'm really excited actually to be here
I
today.
am too.
I've been looking forward to this all week.
Did you have any dreams about it?
Uh no, not that I can remember, but I don't really remember my dreams all that often, and when they do, they're usually the really weird ones, not the prophetic ones. Although the prophetic ones I have on occasion, and I know what they are when they come, but I'm not a big prophetic dreamer. I'm more of a that was totally off the wall and totally weird. Like that's more like what me.
Well, everyone, welcome to our show online live on YouTube. And we have tonight a very special guest, Tina. How can I pronounce your name right? Dubois?
Dubois, yeah.
Dubois.
It's
Oh my
pronounced the
goodness,
French
it's
way, so Dubois.
French. All right.
Yeah.
And she is a very amazing person, soul that has been working on an amazing project that finally came to life this year. It's like a new baby.
Yeah.
And Tina, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your project too?
Sure. Thank you, Miriam.
You're welcome.
Like Miriam said, I've been working on this project, and it is called Metaphysical School. And it's been a long time in coming. I first conceived of the project 3 years ago. And so it's taken this long to have this project come into reality. And so a little bit about me, I'm the founder of Metaphysical School, and um, it launched finally on May the 4th this year after 3 years of working on it. And it is a video education and community platform that is dedicated to helping spiritual seekers and energetic sensitives heal, learn, and grow in a community, in a safe and supportive community to progress on their enlightenment journeys. So that's kind of what it is. We have faculty from all over the world, including the most amazing Miriam Cunha, who has already created a video called Numerology: The Power of Numbers, which is amazing. And
Thank you.
she's working on at least one more video for the school. So we're really super excited for that. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit, it's very a little about me, more about my school stuff. But if you have specific questions, about me, I'm happy to share. um,
Awesome. So there is the live chat somewhere around.
yeah.
And on YouTube is on the when you look at YouTube on the right side. And my mom is there. Hi mom. I told you my mom was gonna be here. My
Awesome.
my mom said it's wonderful. All right. So Tina, I read about the metaphysical schools online. I think it was on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool! This project, I want to be part of it." And that's why I contacted you because I just thought this was a wonderful project and totally believed on it. And I'm really happy to be part of the amazing group of teachers and inspirational coaches and intuitive psychics and light
We have the
workers,
whole
light
gambit. Yeah.
workers,
We
light
have we
workers.
have teachers from all over the world. Yeah. It's pretty amazing. We have a faculty of about almost 30 faculty who have created videos or who have participated in our last masterclass event. So we have 30 already who have produced, and we have probably another 20 teachers who I consider future faculty, future teachers, and they're working on their video production right now. So yeah, we already have 45 video courses to choose from, ranging on a whole bunch of different topics. So to talk a little bit about more of the school. So we organize our metaphysical teachings into 8 core subjects. And so every video will be organized into one or more of the 8 core subjects, and Miriam's is in the universal wisdom subject, which is amazing. So it covers numerology and sacred geometry, platonic solids, law of attraction, which we have a couple of videos on already, which are beautiful and super powerful. But yeah, in addition to our universal wisdom, we also have human energies, which covers anything from the chakras, the aura, um, masculine and feminine energy, and anything to do with the 4 bodies. So the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. Do you want me to talk more about our course?
I would like you to let us know how did it start for you, this journey, because I think the metaphysical school, it's an accomplishment of your journey that has started a long time ago, maybe in
10
another
years.
incarnation, and then
10,
in
yeah.
this.
In this current incarnation, it
Mhm.
started 10 years ago. Yeah. And it started with my first intuitive awakening. So I kind of think of my intuitive awakenings as, one way of putting it is quantum leaps in intuitive abilities, I guess. And so, yeah, my first intuitive awakening happened 10 years ago, and it was a rough one. I've had 3. I kind of feel like I had 3 over the last 10 years. And the first one was really rough. I basically had hit rock bottom with a lot of physical problems. At the time, I was barely walking because I had a severe back injury.
Mhm.
And I was looking for answers. Western medicine had failed me. They couldn't, nobody could help me in Western medicine and figure out how to get me better. And so I went in search of alternative medicines, alternative healings. And I went to a body talk practitioner. Her name's Jan Hansen in Calgary. And she does body talk and quantum healing. And it was my first experience with energy healing that I can consciously remember anyway. But I didn't really resonate with the healing so much at the time. Now I'm starting to realize I probably really did on a subconscious level. But what happened in that healing session was she gave me a little tiny tumbled smoky quartz. When I first walked into her office, I was like, "Oh, you have
Uh-huh.
such beautiful crystals." And to know a little bit more about me, I have 2 degrees in science. So after I finished high school, I spent 10 years in university, and it was all science based. So it was genetics and neuroscience. And so, here's me, this really scientific person, seeking alternative medicine, energy healing to help my back. And most of my friends were like, "Are you doing?" And I'm like, "There's nothing else that I don't know what to do." And so anyway, Jan Hansen, she recognized that I was really resonated with the crystals in her office. And at the end of the session, she was like, "Just hold on a second." So, I'm paying the bill, and she goes back to her office, she comes out and she's like, "I really feel called to give this to you." And I was like, "Okay." So she gives me this tumbled quartz, and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." Like nobody had ever done that before, given me a
you,
crystal.
you realize that crystals are like hard drives, right?
I
they
know that
they
now.
record information. So it
Then,
was some information there that you needed to have. It activated something on you.
yeah, it did. So I ended up sleeping with the crystal that night, and the next morning I woke up an intuitive empath. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew that suddenly I could feel other people's emotions. I could feel other people's pain. I could feel energy from things that I didn't understand. I had all of these, you know, feelings and thoughts, and nothing really made sense to my scientific mind. And I was like, "What do I?" So what I did was I used the research skills that I had gained in my, 10 years of university. and and I went online and I tried to find all like the answers that I could. And I eventually found out that what I was feeling was an awakening of empathic abilities. And then I went on this mission to find tools to help me deal with uh, now, like at the time, being, newly energetic sensitive, whether that was from people or, you know, from crystals, from basically anything. And that experience of what do I do? I felt so alone. Like my family didn't understand. I didn't have anybody to talk to. All I could do was
Well,
find.
you're not alone in that case,
I
because I think
know.
most people who
I know.
have started an awakening path have that feeling at
I've
one
been all
point.
alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you realize you're not alone.
Yeah. It took really a long time for me to find friends in my circle, like of people who are actually that I knew that had any inkling about what was going on with me and kind of experienced things themselves as well. But yeah, it took many years. So from that experience of I, I don't know how to cope with being, a newly awakened empath and intuitive, and feeling really alone, feeling really scared, feeling somewhat crazy at times because let's face it, it can be pretty nerve wracking, right?
Those moments you have a self doubt. Did I really
Yeah,
have this intuition? Is it really true? Should I follow it?
yeah, exactly. And so from that experience, I've had a number of experiences since. I call that, my enlightenment journey. I I wanted to create a platform um, where I could teach. Because eventually, what happened is, I fell in love with crystal healing and I made crystal jewelry and, like, because I
Like
wear it.
the beautiful,
Thank
yeah.
you. And, I started teaching crystal healing workshops. And, eventually I wanted to teach online, but I didn't want to do that all by myself. I didn't want to be a marketing island because in addition to being an intuitive empath, I'm also extremely introverted. And so I didn't want to didn't want to have a business sharing my wisdom all by myself. So that's why I wanted to bring in, like, I wanted to create a
But
faculty.
it is interesting because at the same time that you're introvert and you didn't want to do it alone, at the same time not wanting to do it alone, it's the opposite of introversion because you want to have people around. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
both sides there.
But also how it is as an introvert, I'm not so big on marketing myself. I'm really great at marketing other people. it really it really brings me joy to connect other people. Like I really like connecting with people who resonate with me, obviously, because I've created this faculty of people who basically do similar things that I do. Right? We teach, we share our metaphysical wisdom, we share our enlightenment journeys. Like I created this faculty of peers. But what also really brings me joy is something that I call catalyzing resonant connections. And so I really like to bring together students and teachers who really click with each other. And so that really brings me joy. And every time,
I totally resonate with that because I love doing things together too, like sharing what we are learning and learning together and walking the journey together. I find it more fun, and not only more fun, but also helping because one person has got one insight here and the other one another insight, and all this enlightenment together creates a brighter light.
for sure, which is why Metaphysical School is also a big community, right? Like the website is designed to to be a community of teachers and students who are all interested in the same thing. I call them, we're all metaphysically minded souls. And so, yeah, I find what I didn't know 10 years ago is that on this enlightenment journey, we accelerate, we, travel farther and faster when we do it together. And even as an introvert now, I have realized this, which is, probably why Metaphysical School is designed the way it is, that it's not only video education, but it's also community. So, yeah.
And even in terms of how magic operates, magic in terms of manifesting realities, and the more people you have putting energy into one manifestation, the more chances you get to manifest that bigger and faster.
Yeah,
And
because it
and,
has more
and
energy in it. With, the more people we have working on it, the more energy is given to it. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
our system, the people who control the system, they know that, right? They don't like to spread it, but they operate on that. So they launch an idea to a vast number of people around the world and use that energy to manifest things on from the system. People are not aware that they're donating that energy. Even
Yeah,
when you're watching a celebrity show, a huge show, like the openings of the big games, right? In a way, they are a ritual. They're grabbing this energy of everybody, and it's very powerful. So we, as humanity, if we get together with the objective of actually making things better and easier for everybody, imagine the power we have.
yeah. Which is another reason why, you know, why I created the school, to help
Hmm.
people realize how powerful they are and how powerful we are together. So, as you were saying, the system uses the buildup of energy to manifest. Well, so can we as conscious beings.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. We
yeah,
have to just start awakening, and when you talk about your awakening, you started with the crystal on this incarnation, and then you had other ones, right? Because we
yeah,
keep having awakenings.
yeah,
I'm still
exactly.
having awakenings.
Yes,
Uh, every time you see a different, oh, I didn't see this before. And even if you read a book about some metaphysical subject, if you read it 10 years ago and you read it now, you will see something different.
yeah, exactly. So I
So,
would say my other two awakenings that I've had since the one 10 years ago, they were catalyzed by workshops that I took. And it doesn't have, like, they were in groups, right? My second awakening, which happened in a workshop, was an in-person workshop. And it was called Awakening the Illuminated Heart. And it's the teachings are by John Balo Melchizedek, who is famous for the Flower of Life work. And it was taught by my friend Tara Seymour, and it was a hugely awakening process for me. That is when I first came up
can
with the
you
idea for Metaphysical School. Was
can you repeat the
called
the workshop?
Awakening the Illuminated Heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so during that workshop, um, we do a number of exercises, but one of them is to connect with the sacred space of the heart, and he calls it, the sacred space and the tiny space of the heart. But basically, at the end of the workshop, one of one of the last exercises is a meditation to reach whole consciousness, and that was what I think catalyzed the second of my intuitive awakenings, was reaching whole consciousness and being, okay, there's way more to life, the universe, and everything than we kind of realize before we get to that point. And people can reach whole consciousness a number of ways. It doesn't have to be through that, a workshop type of thing. I have since met a number of people who have reached whole consciousness, like a whole consciousness level, just simply through meditation on their own,
Yeah.
and it like just happened. And then they get a bunch of downloaded information, and they it they go through their own intuitive awakening. I think that's one of, it's one of the big steps, I think, to the enlightenment journey is getting to whole consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? Like connecting with source. And there's a number of ways to do it. That was just the way that
So
I did it.
would you say that an enlightenment journey or path, it's very individual? Every person has its own individual experience on the
Yeah,
journey.
yeah, yeah. I kind of when I saw that you were calling the show that we were doing today Path to Enlightenment, I was like, well, what's my definition of enlightenment? Like, what does that mean to me? And I think enlightenment is pretty simple. you know, in my definition, which is it's a journey of learning about yourself, humanity, and the universe. And I don't think it has to be any more complicated than that. But there's a number of ways that you can do that.
Mhm.
Through workshops, through meditation, through, whatever self-discovery, personal development, whatever routes you want to take, those are all, part of the enlightenment journey. So yeah.
Definitely are. Yeah, my first the first thing that I remember was at 9 years old reading a book my father brought home was Where the Gods Astronauts from Eric von Däniken, and I just dove into this book. It's like, wow, look at these pictures and this and unexplainable things. Like he makes a lot of questions on the books on this book, and I was comparing that to the description of extraterrestrials or astronauts on the
Yeah.
Bible, because when you read on the Bible certain descriptions of angels with shiny silver boots
Yeah.
floating on a cloud like thing. So I was like, oh, I think this is the same. So this was the first thing that I remember. And from there on, you have different things. And from this last experience you were sharing with us, I don't know why I remembered one of them. It was a course I took in Brazil, which I don't remember the name of the course, but what I remember was the person sharing with the group was saying that she or he was from Uranus,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
planet Uranus, like this person or being. I can't say she or he because he was a hybrid person, and this being was saying that it exchanged with the person who was inhabited the body before, and
Mm-hmm.
it came through the body, and that the body wasn't going to last too long because the energy of the being from Uranus was too strong to make the body last for too long, and the mission was to share this knowledge during the weeks we went to this course. And I remember going into the room with maybe around 50 people, and this person was sharing a bunch of uh, it was it was information about history, humanity history, but what the words that were coming out of the mouth of this being were not really important, because the feeling of being there was like if you were transported to a different dimension and being upgraded by other beings there.
So it was basically the resonance field of that being, right?
Yeah,
That you were
yeah.
all in
The
contact with.
the work that was being done there was invisible, and
Yeah.
everybody was getting out every time of that class like floating in clouds, like, oh, now we're back to this reality here. It was a lot of fun. It was interesting but very overwhelming at the same time,
A
and
lot to process afterwards.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot to process. Yeah,
Yeah.
so there are lots of different awakenings, and I sense that the metaphysical school accomplishment for you, it's another awakening.
Oh.
It's another process of awakening.
Well, it was definitely a journey in and of itself to actually bring it into reality. The whole kind of process of it, and the plans changed along the way, which I guess is, very similar to life, right? Like when I first started working on the idea, there was this sort of plan, and by the time it got to the point where, okay, we have to start working on developing the actual platform, plan totally changed. Like it was like a complete 180. The plan turned out to be the thing that I said was not going to be the case. I was not going to do the web development by myself because I'm not a web developer. I didn't want to do, the technical end of it. And what ended up happening was I did the technical end of it, and I had to do all of the research to figure out how to do it and create all of the web pages and do all of the web design.
And I'm amazed about from the job you did. Like you created an amazing website. Congratulations by not being a web developer.
Not a web developer, no.
Now you can say you are.
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
Exactly.
I keep saying I'm not a web developer. I'm just, a crystal healer who wanted to make this thing and this website, and this is what happened. But now everybody's like, well, you made it, so now you're a web developer. And
exactly.
Okay. I've made this website. All right. I can own that. I can accept it.
It's the same thing. Like if you compose a song, now you're a composer.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. My role, my title has changed. And it has expanded, I guess. I've added to it. Yes. I'm the founder and web designer behind Metaphysical School. Thank you, WordPress. Also, thank you, Buddy Boss. Those are the big,
but you did a lot of customizing and a lot of research on the plugins.
Yeah.
It is a complex website. It's not a simple 2-3 pages website.
No. Well, I had made a 2 or 3 page website before working on Metaphysical School. So I had done I knew what WordPress was, but now I know a little bit more about WordPress because I've spent so much time working on its development. But yeah.
Well, congratulations for that. It is amazing. And now it's growing. It's like this seed, this amazing complex seed you planted, and it's flourishing right now. And I'm really glad and happy to be part of it. Thank you for having accepted me.
And thank you for joining us as a faculty. I adore your numerology video. It's extremely well made, and I'm super excited for your next video course. Do you want to talk about what you're working on?
Well, I filmed it already, and I haven't edited. So the editing part is the tricky part. Well, for me, for some people will be more difficult
for me, it's recording. Camera. For me, it's the recording part. I love working on the script. I love doing the post-production. I am not a fan of the recording. It's not my favorite part. But I think considering how much time I've spent in front of a video camera since I first started, because I made my first video courses 2 years ago. I spent the entire month of June in 2018 working on my first 4 video courses. They're on crystal healing, not a big surprise. And I spent all of last June working on 3 more video courses. They're not on crystal healing. One is on empath skills. One is on and the other ones, they're kind of crystal healing. They're balancing the chakras with colors and crystals. So there is a crystal component to them. But yeah, I've spent so much time in front of the video camera because I did a Facebook Live launch for Metaphysical School where it was just me. I did the Energy Empowerment Masterclass as a host with, which was 6 webinars, which was me and a number of faculty coming on. But I've also done a number of interviews like this one. So I'm kind of getting used to this whole being in front of the camera thing, which I
And then
think is pretty amazing.
you're doing lots of meetings and recordings to keep people updated on the projects, both the
Oh
faculty and the
yeah,
students too.
yeah,
And
yeah.
also you're teaching marketing skills too, right?
Well, I do as part of the school, we have teacher conference calls, which
Hmm.
are on Zoom and they're recorded. So yeah, I guess I'm a lot more comfortable in front of the camera than I used to be. So in case anybody is wondering, if you want to teach, being in front of the camera does get easier. All you have to do is do it. Like, just practice and take as many opportunities as you can to talk to people on camera. And it's kind of all a progression, I guess.
And every video you make gets better because you learn something else.
Yes.
Yes, this course I filmed, but I have to edit. It's about sigils, so it's about uh, one technique of manifesting realities by creating a symbol which contains all the intention. So reducing the words into a symbol, and it's a short course teaching how to do it and beware of the manifestation of your intentions because it is a very powerful tool. And
I can't wait. I'm so excited for it. Yeah.
the next one that I'm planning, it's about I don't know how to say that in English. Radius. When you use the pendulums and uh,
Dowsing?
radiestesia, dowsing. Yeah, because in
Yeah.
Portuguese it's radiestesia from radio energy.
Yeah.
So it is going to be about that.
Yay.
About
Like this
using
one?
the pen.
Like
Yes, exactly. Maybe we should take the opportunity and ask a question.
okay. Well, I was telling Miriam before we started that I need to have something in my hands to like play with while I'm talking, and so I grabbed this smoky quartz pendulum that I had, on my table, and she was like, "Oh, let's ask a question." I was like, "Okay, what do you want to know?"
I have an idea.
Go for it.
We can ask like the same question and see the answers from two pendulums at the same time.
Nice. What stone is that?
This is a hematite. And put it here.
Nice. Yeah.
It's got a
Oh
good
well,
weight
you have
on
to
it.
have to be in front of your face, otherwise it disappears.
Ooh.
Nice, nice.
Maybe
Mine is smoky quartz, so it
nice.
has a smoky quartz crystal, and then the thing I really liked about this one is it has a great big smoky quartz to hold on to at the other end. So I really like that about
Do
this
you want to
particular one.
explain people how does it work?
How a pendulum works?
Yeah.
Sure. So basically, this is how I explain how dowsing works. Is basically it's how the pendulum moves is, I call it an idiomotor response. So what it does is you as a being, you are connected to source all of the time. And what a pendulum does is it is a mechanism. Hello. My pendulum was really excited. You see how it's already spinning? Yeah. Basically, the idiomotor response is it's your body's connection to source, and it's the way that source can communicate through you, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, it's
that's kind
like
of a convoluted way of
like
saying it.
an amplifier, right?
Yes.
And it works more for questions that have a yes and no,
Yeah, and
right?
you can
Yeah, unless you
with your
have
pendulum.
a like a chart that has more answers, and then it
Yeah,
can point because
yeah.
it's a pendulum is programmed according to what you want, right? So
Well, different. What I found is if you're going to use a crystal pendulum, the the resonance of the crystal needs to work with you. So not all pendulums will move the same for every answer. You can program them, but I don't. I just ask my pendulum, can you please show me a yes? And then I ask it, can you show me a no? And
Okay.
so that's how I do it. I know a
Oh,
number of people who program them, right? So
yeah.
another way you can do it is to ask your pendulum, this is a yes, and you can just spin it until you program it. But I don't. I just ask my pendulum to please show me whatever. So my pendulums, I have responses which are specific movements to me for answers of yes, no, I don't want to answer right now. and and I don't know. I don't know is another answer, and energy clearing. So I have different movements for each of those actions, I guess. But yeah. So,
Do you have any idea of a question, or should we, let's see, think about it?
no. Okay. Let's think about this. No, I'm gonna give it to you. what sort of answer? What sort of question should we ask?
Yeah, I thought about asking how it's going to be this fall for the world, but I'm afraid of the answer.
Well, fear is going to disrupt your answer.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I work, right? Because you have to ask from an objective position, so you have to not care about the answer. Because yes, if you have a preference for an answer, you're probably going to get that answer. So it has to be something that you can be objective about in the asking.
What about something that we eat? Like, it just came to my mind. Our tomato sauce is when the tomato is heated. Is that good for our health?
So is tomato sauce good for me? Is that the question you want to ask?
In general, I would say, because if we want to test with both pendulums,
Okay.
because it could be
It's going
good
to be
for
different for
me.
you than me, right?
That's
If I'm
true. Yeah,
testing
that's
my
not a
body,
very,
then my
yeah.
body's going to tell you if tomato sauce is good for me. We're like stumped. I'm very confused that we're both
We
stumped
can
on the
make a
question.
big prediction now. Is gold going to continue to go up in the market?
Okay, cool.
All
All right,
right.
let's do that. Okay. So is the price of gold going to continue to increase
In the market
on the market?
until the end of the year?
I'm getting a no. I'm getting a solid no.
I haven't got an answer yet. Hmm. It matches your answer.
You are also getting a no.
Yeah.
In case
So,
you're wondering what action my pendulum does. So my pendulum no answer is an up and down line. And it very
for
quickly.
me, it's the opposite. No, it's horizontal.
Oh, okay. So it's
And
I
yes, it's
decide.
like this. Or
Gotcha.
no could be going left, and yes going right.
Yeah. For
So
me,
you went.
yeses are a clockwise circle and nos are an up and down line.
So
So
we
I get
gotta know if you're
we have
if
a
anybody
no for
watching is
gold.
thinking about thinking about investing in gold. I don't know. Think twice,
Yeah.
because we got a no here. Both pendulums. That's interesting. Hmm.
Do we
I
have
don't know if
another
it.
question or are we done with the doubts?
Shall we ask if Trump is going to win?
Oh, I don't know if I want to answer that.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to
It's
know
it's
that
tough
either.
to be objective with that particular question.
Uh,
Yeah, I try
it's
not to go the
should
politics.
everybody try the path to enlightenment?
Oh, yes. Well, I get a solid yes for that one. Yeah.
I think the light wins.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a very strong one.
I got a very strong yes as well. Yeah.
Everybody listening,
Yeah.
the path of enlightenment is waiting for you. If you haven't started yet, it's the moment.
Awesome.
Got a solid
I
yes on
agree.
both of them.
Yeah. That was a very good question. Thanks for asking that. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
interesting, because I thought it was going to say no because maybe some people are not ready, but no, it's a yes because it is
yeah,
something that everybody needs to engage into.
yeah. Well, if you're interested in the path to enlightenment, I can tell you that we have a special event coming up through Metaphysical School. It's going to be our next masterclass event. And
Oh,
it's, yeah, I'm so excited for this one. Last year we did the Energy Empowerment Masterclass. And this year our masterclass event is all about the path to enlightenment, and it's called the Intuitive Awakenings Masterclass. And so, again, like last year, it's going to be 6 webinars. This one is going to be 2 webinars a week for 3 weeks. And I'm just going to put it out that the plan is to have it in November. So if I just say it now, it's going to happen. So the plan is to happen in November, and I'm really excited. It's going to have a number of faculty in it as well, and we're going to share our experiences with our own intuitive awakenings. But we're also going to talk about 4 metaphysical archetypes, and as a faculty, we're going to share tips on what we can share with other people experiencing awakening as one of these 4 metaphysical archetypes. And I'm going to save what those archetypes are for the event itself, but they
awesome.
are super awesome. And then we're going to
And
finish.
are you talking about archetypes like the cards archetypes or in general?
In terms of metaphysical archetypes,
Hmm.
it's not a. What do you mean by cards? Like,
Because the tarot cards have archetypes, but the
oh, no,
Mayan
no, no.
oracle also. So, do you have a specific type of archetype you're going to use, or
Yes. Yeah, we
okay?
have 4. I have 4 archetypes that are kind of grand roots of enlightenment. So they're a path. They're an enlightenment path, I guess you could say, that people can identify with and journey on one path or more than one path. So does that make sense? So it doesn't
Uh,
have to do with tarot specifically. It has more to do with what what sort of path you resonate with as in this incarnation, in this human incarnation. Does that
oh,
does that
okay.
help?
Yes.
Okay. I'm leaving the mystery to what these,
Well, I'm
these
looking
archetypes
forward to
are. Oh, you're it's going to be right up your alley. I can't wait to hear
it.
the wisdom that you share as um, the tip for awakening as your specific archetypes that you resonate with, because you are probably more than one. Most people are more than one, and that is totally okay. Myself, I'm probably 3 out of the 4. Um, Many people are going to be 4 out of the 4. But yeah, I I've started planning the Intuitive Awakening Masterclass. I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
And one thing that I was thinking about when you were mentioning how you started your journey of enlightenment, and the before you were studying science and you were very logic, so you were using
Yes.
the left side of the brain,
Yes.
and then you out of a sudden woke up the right side of the brain and connected both, which is very empowering to connect both. I did the opposite journey. I started with the right side of the brain, and then I did computer science at the college a few years ago. So I got the left side of the brain connected too. And I think part of the enlightenment path is to connect both sides and walk the middle path, embracing both dark and light. It doesn't mean it's embracing being bad, but it's embracing the duality of the physical world to walk through the light tunnel and enlighten the whole field. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying, but it's like I'm
I
seeing
like that.
this.
I like that. Well, I can tell you that, yes, I totally I spent most of my intermediate years, because I now that I've spent more time um researching intuitive awakenings, I was a pretty intuitive child, which is quite common, right? Most children are innately intuitive. But for most of my school years, starting from probably like grade 2 on, um, yeah, I was all about academia. I was all about studying. I was all very left brain, very scientific minded, very, logical steps. And I can tell you that I was only half of myself, right? And so, yeah, maybe a really big part of intuitive awakening is merging the two, the intuitive creative mind and the logical, you know, stepwise, mathematical, academic kind of mind.
You said a word that is key, merging, and then you said two, and that we're talking about the two sides of the brain of our physical body and the duality. But at the same time, I started realizing since last year that we're connecting other pieces of ourselves. Like if we had spread ourselves into this big puzzle and these pieces of our consciousness that have been focusing on different realities are all getting together right now.
Yes.
You
Yes,
have this
for sure.
feeling too?
Yeah, because my latest intuitive awakening was all about learning about my own and other galactic lineages. So
Mhm.
I, like you were talking about, that was how you were introduced to the metaphysical world, was with the book about astronauts. That was my latest intuitive awakening, was we're not just human beings.
Well, you were talking about dolphins, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the galactic lineages. Yeah. Because I guess I could say my latest intuitive awakening happened is I guess happened, yeah, during a workshop that I participated in July called the Starseed Accelerator, and it was given by a wonderful mentor, Caitlin Diana, and um, we went through. She introduced the idea of galactic lineages and what starseed lineage. It started out with a quiz. What starseed lineage are you? And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So I did that and was totally taken on this beautiful journey. And yeah, have since learned that
Well, the
I have
dolphins
other
are
souls.
they come from a water element planet, right? And
Yeah.
I've had some interesting experiences with water. One time in Brazil, many years ago, if a friend of mine watches that, she'll remember that. We were on a waterfall through the like a cave, rocky cave, small waterfall, showering there, and then out of a sudden, and we both saw that this head, crystal looking like, came out of the water, but it was the water shaping out as a face. And I was like, what? It, it's a being of the
Yeah.
water element just manifested there. And I didn't never saw this again, but this I will never forget because it was such an amazing experience. And I somehow I think all water is connected to the ancestors archetypes from Sirius, the
Yeah.
dolphin.
I was gonna say serious as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. As in like the Syrian,
Mm-hmm.
the Syrian planets. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we
I didn't know
probably
anything about galactic lineages before the Starseed Accelerator in July. I knew nothing, and now I'm like totally mind blown and adore it, and have since integrated two of my past galactic lineages into my current vessel to continue on my enlightenment journey.
and another lineage that I feel that I have, it's connected to birds and wings, having wings and flying.
Was
I
it
feel
birds? Because there are a lot of other creatures that have wings too.
I love birds of all kinds, and I have this a sensation of having wings. But I think that all animals that are here are representations of the different galactic lineages of
Or
evolution,
descendants of.
descendants of representations, because they are allowing the human being species evolve into thinking that is the only one that thinks or that has intelligence. We just think that, but we're
Yes, we
not.
just think that.
And the other beings are here reminding us, okay, there are all these other kinds of beings on this
Yeah. Because
galaxy.
humanity is really young, right? Comparatively. Like you look at the crocodile, how long has the crocodile been on this planet? Way longer than humanity, right? Turtles, dolphins, whales, like they precede humanity by a lot.
Maybe depends on what perspective you look from, because there might have been other civilizations that got in an advanced stages here and got destroyed. All those things
Yes,
we
I see what you mean. Yeah, I see where you're going with that. Yes, I get that. Cool.
and we're getting close. We have a few minutes. I'm like waiting to ask you about your pendant, because you said it's a crystal. And
This one, the
yeah,
necklace. Oh,
yes,
this necklace is sugilite.
sigilite.
Yeah.
And it's black or blue? I
No,
think.
it's actually let's see if I can get it to shine in the light a little bit. Here we go. No, this it's a combination of a number of different shades of purple. Um,
Nice.
and it goes to very very dark purple that looks black. It's not the best to show in this light, but sugilite is it's a powerful third eye and heart stone, and it and it
Mhm.
it bridges the two, right? So it bridges your intuition
I
with
think I know what stone it
heart.
is, because I can't see very well on the video, but I think I know what it is. I think I just ordered one on eBay. It's kind
Aww.
of more to the blue side.
Uh, this it
No?
has sugilite kind of comes in two different. I've seen it in two different types. There's a light purple variety of sugilite, and there's a really really dark variety of sugilite. And I've
Oh,
always
so maybe it
resonated
wasn't
with
that
the
one.
dark. But yeah, it comes in both. It comes in a whole range of
Sigilite.
purple and some but purpley pink. Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
That is one thing we have in common. We make our own jewelry.
Yes, we make our own jewelry and we wear our own. Well, mine is
Yeah.
because I'm allergic to metal, so I can't wear metal jewelry, and I have this serious crystal addiction. So I had to figure out a way that I could wear my crystal pieces, my crystal tools, and so I learned macrame. So
So
I
that's a serious crystal addiction.
yes,
But
yes that.
did it come with your path to enlightenment?
Well, it started the
It
path
started.
to enlightenment
It
because it was
started.
it was that tumbled smoky quartz that awakened that reawakened my empathic and intuitive abilities. But yeah,
Yeah, it
And
is
then I,
it's a very serious addiction.
yeah,
And I have the same addiction.
I think most people who resonate with crystals eventually, um, uh, create this addiction. But then
Oh,
we where
just
we don't
gonna
need
share quickly. I had a dream. Was it a couple of days? Yeah, not last night, the other night. That I was told that we should all start creating grids of stones and crystals in a mandala star pointing to 8 sides everywhere in the world.
8.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
awesome. So
if you're
eight
hearing
is
there, yeah,
eight is a big 8 is the number of abundance, but also the number of
infinite.
infinity.
Hmm.
Infinity. So that's I can tell you that metaphysical school, the big theme is all eights, right? Like, we have 8 course subjects. Our membership costs $4 or $8. All our video courses cost $8. There are 8 circles in our logo. So there's a lot of 8 that has to do with metaphysical school. So that's interesting that you were told to create crystal grids on the theme of 8. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I shared with a chat group with a shaman from Mexico. Nobody has said anything, but I maybe it's time to share out there. Like anybody, maybe other people will start getting that message too. I just saw this all these grids connecting to activate energies in the planet.
Cool. Awesome.
So we're gonna wrap up. And is there anything you wanna let everybody know before we go?
Oh, just if you are
Anything else?
curious at all about metaphysical school and want to learn more about it, I invite you to check out our website at metaphysical.school. Pretty simple. We're on, we also have Facebook and Instagram accounts, and they are also at Metaphysical School. So if you're curious at all about some of our video courses, maybe our faculty, maybe checking out our, numerology course, then I invite you to
So
check
it's metaphysical dot
out
school.
.school.
And then you're on Facebook too, and Instagram
Yeah,
and YouTube.
yeah.
And the links are below.
They will
Usually.
be below.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miriam, so much
Thank
for
you. Thank you for coming
inviting
and
me on your
sharing.
show. It was so much fun.
And I hope this little sharing we did here helped your path of enlightenment. And remember, we got the same answer with the pendulums. Everybody should engage into a path of enlightenment. And this is a great opportunity right now for the entire planet because we are aligning with the central sun of the galaxy, receiving straight information and a great opportunity of enlightenment. And that's why we're seeing so many people awakening and getting together for giving birth to a new earth. That's what's happening from now until next year. It's a big ride. All right. Thank you very much for coming and sharing, Tina. And we will talk soon.
Yes.
Everybody, thank you for listening and tune in next Sunday with Carly from Kelowna, from the holistic market, that it's morphing and changing into a different business, a different energy work. And she will explain more about that and the new things that are coming next Sunday. All right. Big kiss on your heart, on yours too, Tina.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Let me end the stream. Where is the mouse? Oh, there. All right. And stop recording.